It was an unhappy union. It was motivated, Byron was in the midst of this scandal, well, the sort of whisperings about his life, his private life, and things were feeling out of control in terms of his public reputation. And marrying seems like a great solution to this. Um, Plus, he was in financial dire straits. And the woman that he married, Annabella Milbank, was an heiress who came with a handsome dowry, and she had quite elderly parents. Her dad was in his 60s, so there was a sense that she might be inheriting soon. And she was the niece of a very close friend and confidant of Byron's, and she came at a time when he needed a lifeline in various ways, and she seemed to fulfill that. And they had quite a lengthy correspondence that was really rather lovely, and had an intellectual connection. She's gone down in history, I think, in quite a sexist way as being kind of boring and a bit prudish. And she obviously wasn't right for Byron, but she was a completely brilliant woman who went on to be into prison reform, education reform. She was an abolitionist. She was very clever, engaged, politically active, fascinating person. And she was also very into maths. Byron called her the princess of parallelograms. And so they've been presented in this dichotomy. There's the bad boy, good girl. She was sort of she's a do-gooder throughout her life. And it's very tempting to sort of see them as these polar opposites. He's artistic and tempestuous, and she's cold and mathematical. And they got married. It was a disaster right from the beginning. The whole relationship has again been the subject of so much speculation and conjecture that it's hard to really know we can't know what happened. But for whatever reason, it completely broke down almost immediately. Byron regretted, I guess, and then in that year that they were married, really seemed to have almost a nervous breakdown. That was certainly Lady Byron's take on it. And he was having affairs and fits of rage, and it was a very, very unhappy marriage, intermingled with some quite lovely moments where, if it was all a total disaster, it would somehow make more sense. But actually, a lot of their letters from that time are really rather sweet and beautiful, and they clearly did have a physical connection and sort of loved each other. But in the end, Byron's histrionics got too much, and she filed for separation, and they were separated. I think it was just over a year that they were married before they were legally separated.